If I could be anything for you, I would be your cure. I'd pour light into your wounds to soak their poison into the potions of love. And as their darkness drained, I would tear apart your cage, molding the bars that held you into your destined wings. And if from your flight you returned, I would have sewn a blanket for you, cut fresh from the curative fabric of spring. But hopefully you fly off to that destination you were born with, the one they tried to steal from your soul, that destination. You were born with the one they tried to steal from your soul.
Testing. Who we got here?
Oh, hi there. I'm Sera.
Now, Sarah, you were a nurse. This was in Ipswich?
Absolutely. Yes, I've worked at Ipswich Hospital, the public system. Yep.
Now, we're going to call this the border of empathy, because I'll get into you in a sec, but let me tell you a story. When I was in a small town called Colac in Victoria, there was a nurse there who'd worked at this hospital for over 30 years. I think it was almost 40.
Okay.
And she didn't want to take the jab. And on her last shift, they just walked her out like she was just a visitor. No card, no thank you anything, no gold watch, just gone. And outside there was 5 or 6 other hospital workers, wardies, cooks and whatever, who'd also left for the same reason.
Okay.
And they were waiting to celebrate her, dressed in white. They had balloons, and they called the riot squad on them in this country town.
Wow.
And so this nurse walked out as though she'd never been there. And this is sort of how they got rid of nurses. Now here we are to you, wondering how you feel about that, because I've got a feeling that you absolutely loved being a nurse.
Oh, absolutely. What a disgraceful way to treat that lady. What a thank you. Was that a thank you to her? Thank you for great service. No, thank you. That was a way to say thank you and goodbye. Yeah, that's truly disgraceful. That's not okay. That's
This is
not
the
how
thing.
we should be treating our workers.
The thing is that they probably did care for her. If she'd had a birthday, they would have got her a card.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to COVID vaccines, there's a border of empathy. And if you don't comply, suddenly the empathy stops. Have you noticed that?
I've absolutely noticed that. Yeah, absolutely. People have people asked, am I okay? Are we okay? I'm not sure where it's gone. I'm not sure. It's been such a hard 5 years. It's just been really disgraceful, the way we've been treated, the way all Australians have been treated. It's not okay. Where's the compassion gone? Where's the empathy? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Absolutely.
Can I ask, when did you decide to become a nurse?
It was probably about 10 years ago or so. I've always either wanted to be a nurse or a teacher, and I just felt it was a calling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the second eldest of six, so I come from a good size, big size family, and I've always just cared for my siblings. So it's just been a really a calling. From
And did you enjoy it?
Absolutely loved it.
What did you absolutely love about it?
Oh, look, everything. I really love connecting with people, caring for people. That was that's the best part about nursing.
And what nursing were you in? Like general nursing, or you were in ICU? What sort of nursing?
I was an enrolled nurse, and the first couple of years of my nursing, I did a great job. I worked actually in a mother-baby unit where I worked with families, helping them with an adjustment through parenthood, and I worked in maternity. And then I moved over to this Ipswich area, and for about 5 years I worked in the relief pool. That was the best job in the world. Absolutely loved it, Michael.
Why was that?
Well, I would work a week in 4 different wards. So I was part of a great relief team where we would cover sick leave or wherever there's a bit of a shortage in the hospital. So I didn't know where I was working until I started my shift. I'd go and sign in, and it was just great. So stimulating, the best job ever. 1 week I would work palliative care, emergency, stroke ward, medical ward. The next week I would work paediatric emergency, palliative care, medical.
So you were getting huge experience.
Absolutely. Surgical.
Yeah.
I absolutely love my
So
job.
a great asset to the health system.
I loved it. It was a great place to work.
But also a great asset, sorry to interrupt, but a great asset to the health system because they can use you anywhere.
I thought so, yeah. Thank you. Yes, I thought so. Absolutely.
Were you considering, I know you're a mum, were you considering getting your RN at some stage, moving up?
Quite possibly, yes. Quite possibly. I really love the diversity of that EN relief pool role, and I was really happy just building my skills constantly, every week, every day, every year. You'd learn so many different things, and really good team. Yeah, I love that job. It was a great job. Brilliant job. Really, yes.
And now you're here,
Yeah.
so how did they dismiss you, or did you resign?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they did dismiss me. It came about throughout the COVID time. The vaccine mandates came in, and it just. I had lots of questions about the safety, the short term and the long term safety. I was concerned about what the long term safety data was. I had my own health issues that I was going through, actually some fertility things 5 years ago. So I was really conscious about what I was putting into my body, what I was eating, even what deodorant I was using. I stopped using spray deodorants and went to an aluminium-free organic deodorant.
So you were really religious of what went into your body.
I was trying my best. I tried to go organic coffee, and, that's important. The body's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
What we put in our body, what we eat. Through my nursing, we learn, all about health. So what we put on our skin, the body absorbs it. And then this came about, and I just had lots of questions, as lots of people did, and wasn't sure about it. Unfortunately, they weren't able to give me any information, any answers, because there was no long-term data about that. Unfortunately, I was fired. I never thought that would happen.
What was that like to be fired? Because obviously, I'm going to say you're probably a great worker, passionate, dedicated, probably didn't take sickies, and then suddenly here you are like you're a bad employee.
It's been the worst time of my life, to be honest. The last few years has been, really, really difficult.
Why? Because you just felt like you were cast out and you didn't deserve it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I gave my job 500%. Absolutely. We don't do nursing for the money. It's a calling. We absolutely do. It's a calling. You definitely don't do it for the money. I really love my job, and I gave it 500%, and I really identified as a nurse. Sorry, and I really missed that part of me, that nursing position. So it's been really tough. I never thought this would happen. I never thought they would fire us. I never thought we would be terminated for something so unjust. Extremely unjust. I had some real concerns in regards to my own health and safety, and then actually fertility on top of that. And they were not able to give any information,
No any assurances.
no reassurances.
And now they've come out and said it's dangerous for pregnant women. So you were right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it
That's
says
what
on
it
the.
says. That is the latest data, isn't
Yeah.
it? And so none of it has made any sense. And to be treated the way we've been treated, to lose our jobs, and unfortunately it has been put down on our file as professional misconduct.
Yeah.
That is disgraceful. And I'm only one of hundreds and thousands as paramedics, police, nurses, cleaners, tradesmen, workers all across Australia in every industry.
But that
This is-
professional misconduct, we're competing against a plane.
planes here.
Is that an aircraft? Is that
Yeah, the
Okay, we're going to pause. We're going to pause.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just took a break. So an a RAF plane went over.
Yes, went over. Yeah. We're in Ipswich. That's pretty common here.
So
Yeah.
so suddenly you've lost your job. I take it that you can't afford not to have an income. So suddenly you've got to look for a job, and your
Yes.
heart's broken.
Yeah,
What did you do?
absolutely. Well, I did think I would get a little bit of support from the Queensland Health, because they said that the chief health officer said, "Oh, we'll help support you. We'll look for another role, maybe a non-clinical role," but that didn't happen at all. We didn't get any support like that at all.
I said it didn't happen at all.
No, that didn't happen. That there was
just
nothing
virtue signalling.
offered. Just gone. See you later. Goodbye. Anyway, so I did start applying for some different jobs. And the job that I did get, you wouldn't believe it, unbelievable, was a COVID telehealth nurse job. So I'm fired from my job. And
Because you won't take the jab.
We're working through this pandemic, which actually is unbelievable. The nurses at the time got this badge saying Nurses and Midwives Frontline Heroes 2020, which was all
know
quite
if you
trivial,
can see
but this is just so trivial that we got this badge. It's fantastic. Thank you for recognising the hard work that everyone does.
I just upped that again. So
Thank you.
here's the
Yeah.
badge, and oops.
Yeah.
So you got a badge saying
Got a
Frontline
badge.
Hero.
And then got fired 6 months later. Worked through some really hard times and then fired. See you later.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. The next job I got was for a private company in New South Wales through New South Wales Health, and it was a telephone nurse giving people a call that were positive for COVID, had COVID, and we were doing some telephone assessments to check on them to make sure they're okay. 99% of them absolutely were fine. So the whole team of us. I was very grateful for that job. What a experience that was. It was great to have a chat to people on the phone. You're at home. We did some phone assessments to make sure that they're okay at home. It was an extremely strange time in my life. I think what happened was the country, unfortunately, there was a message sent that we must stay home. Remember the pandemic, where there was this awful lockdown. So people were forced to stay home in their house. And then maybe some people did get sick and needed help, but the message was to stay home. So then this company said, we actually have some vulnerable people living in the community, so we need to check on them. So they employed a whole bunch of us to give these people a call. It was a great job. 99% absolutely fine, no worries at all, just the flu, just some mild flu symptoms. They couldn't believe that they were getting a call, an assessment, just to check in that, are you okay? I've heard you have COVID. It's amazing thinking back to that time in my life, talking now about what I'm doing. We don't generally ever call people about, you've got the flu, just checking in. It's a beautiful thing to do, but we know people, we can look after ourselves well. We have an immune system. We know what to do. We go to the doctor when we need to. We get our rest. We do what we need to. We have the hospital if we need to go to the hospital. Or
It's
know
funny though, because the amount of fear they put into us getting COVID, the best thing for alleviating that fear was actually getting COVID. Because I've had so many
Yes.
people go, that was it.
Absolutely, that was it. All these people, hundreds of people we call, were in shock that there was a service to give them a call. I'm fine. Yeah, no dramas at all. I'm good. I'm okay. Very bizarre time, isn't it?
So how long did that job last?
That job was just a casual contract. I think it was about 2 to 3 months. So that was great. And then after that, they were. I was able to continue with the company for another few weeks to do another type phone job in that role. That was great. That was wonderful, and then that finished. But that was very uncanny time that I fired from Queensland Health, but then employed from New South Wales Health through private organisation. And then after that, I did a job as a residential care worker for a little while locally in Ipswich. That was a brilliant job. That was great, really good. I did that for a couple of months. It was interesting that what just hasn't made sense, as we all know, is that one industry things are mandated, another industry it's not.
I know.
This doesn't make sense. I was working with children in the community. This was under the Australian government, child safety, and there was no mandates for it. So I was able to get a job there, but I was not able to continue my job that I was doing for 5 years. We had nursing shortage at the hospital, as most hospitals do.
Well, look at the nursing shortage, and they sack nurses.
This doesn't make sense, does it?
Pandemic, I've interviewed O operators who were sacked.
Yep.
When they had a pandemic, people were going to call in, and paramedics sacking paramedics. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't see how the community benefits from not having you as a nurse.
No, absolutely not. And the community, we are suffering because we need all of our workers there ready to help each other.
Yeah.
When you go to work in the hospital, you know it's a really busy place. The emergency, the public hospitals, it's hectic.
So when you were a frontline hero, how many people came in dying of COVID?
I didn't hear of any. at the hospital.
But it was a pandemic. There must have been at least one.
There may have been a couple, to be honest. People do unfortunately die of the flu, which I would say we know that every year or so people can get the flu and die of that. So there was probably a couple. I wasn't working specifically on our COVID ward. We had a ward isolated for people that may have COVID, but I didn't hear of anyone that had died of that. I did hear of some very strange things, as we know, and very strange behaviour that was going on.
Like what?
Okay, one thing that was very strange that we all experienced in the hospital and probably in all of Australia, just very strange. All of a sudden, throughout this COVID time, if we have some sniffles or a fever, some cold symptoms, all of a sudden the doctors are refusing to see us. The doctors were refusing to see us, weren't they? They said, no, you're not allowed to come in. What happened in emergency in this COVID time, unfortunately, we had an absolute overload of families. I was working in the paediatric department, come in because they were not able to see their doctor. Families were coming in, mums and babies were coming in saying, I've tried 5 doctors. I've tried to get my child into 5 doctors, hours. I've tried to travel. They're refusing to see me because my child has a runny nose. We are doctors. The doctors, and this is healthcare. This is what we do. We look after sick people. This put phenomenal stress on the emergency. Put phenomenal stress on the emergency department because then we had an overload of people, and they couldn't believe it. The mums would say, "I can't believe it. I can't get into the doctor because I've got some flu symptoms, which they're saying is some COVID symptoms. You must go to emergency." The message was, you must go to emergency. We're not seeing you. So go to emergency, but actually you didn't need to go to emergency. Emergency is for emergencies. So now we have a waiting room, which is already overloaded. That's normal. It's already overloaded. But now we have an extra overload of people waiting to be seen a doctor, which you need to do. You always need to trust your gut in life, don't you? We always say, especially children, they sometimes they can't express everything what's happening when they're sick. So the mums will be crying in the waiting room. I'm so sorry. I can see you're already so busy and overloaded. I'm sorry to have to come in, but I'm concerned about little Johnny. And we'd say, no, I'm glad you brought him in. I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden I was apologising that I'm sorry that our doctors refused to see you. I'm sorry that our doctors refused to see you.
In emergency?
No, not in emergency. No, in their doctor's clinic, their normal clinic, they refused to see and so many people that had flu symptoms because the government was giving this message that COVID is this fear message that you must go to the emergency, you're going to die. So mums brought their children in because they couldn't get them into a doctor. I'm sorry that the doctors in the area refused to see you. Thank you for bringing your child in because, yes, we do want to check them out, absolutely. And we were assessing them in the wait room as we always do, doing the absolute best we can, getting them through as quick as possible. Unfortunately, you wouldn't believe what's still happening right now in this year, just a month ago. A doctor surgery very close to where I live, private doctor surgery, is refusing right now to see a child. They're refusing for the child and the father to come into the clinic to assess them properly because the child has flu symptoms, has a runny nose, a fever, whatnot. That's normal. What do you do when you do that? You go to the doctor to be assessed. The father took the child in. This has just happened a few months ago, right here in Ipswich, in Brisbane area, and the doctor has said, no, you're not allowed. Your child is not allowed in the clinic to be assessed. I'm going to assess them in the car. Why is this happening? This is medical segregation. The doctor has said to the father and the parent,
Like he's not a gynecologist.
You're putting me in an awkward situation because why? Excuse me, I'm bringing my child to the doctor to be assessed because I'm concerned about them. I think they may have an ear infection and or a cold. They have a runny nose. The doctor refused to take the child into the normal clinic to assess them in the normal area. He insisted on assessing the child in the car. Why is this happening?
So there's still a huge fear around COVID, even though COVID's turned out to be pathetic almost.
Absolutely. Why is this happening? We must ask. This must stop. This is some type of weird medical segregation happening. When you sign up to work in healthcare, we look after sick people. That is an absolute privilege to be in that role. And now all of a sudden, something very weird is happening. We're saying that we cannot look after someone, a sick child. We can't assess them. We'll assess them out here in the car park.
And these people, because I was in hospital and I was given great care, so these people are great carers, but there's some border when it comes to COVID or the jabs that it's like my empathy can't cross this border.
It's very weird. It's very strange. It doesn't make sense. There are so many people that are having...
So would you have been scared if you were in hospital of looking after a COVID patient?
No, absolutely not.
And they sacked you?
They sacked me. Absolutely not. We are trained well in our PPE, in what to wear, the mask, the gloves. We take normal precautions and extra precautions as we need to. Good training, nurses and doctors, we get that specific training. That's what you do. We look after sick people all the time that have the flu, influenza, gastro symptoms. We just use those extra precautions. No fear at all. I tested many people with the test we had to do, the little swab up the nose and in the mouth to test if they had influenza, flu or COVID. That's a normal part of the job. That's okay. And it's an absolute privilege to look after people that are unwell. And there's no need to be scared. We have an immune system. That's what you do in healthcare. We look after the sick. Yeah.
What do you think's happened? What is it? How do you explain it in any way? I can't explain it. I know your partner said the world's upside down, and how do you explain this lack of ethics?
I wish I could explain it as well, Michael. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. It's like things are opposite. Things are not making sense. And it's been a really hard few years, and it is. Every day I'm questioning what's happening in the world. What's happening? Just such basic things with COVID. We're asking questions, we're not getting the information, and then we get in trouble for that, and then we get misconduct put against our name when we haven't done any misconduct.
So if you go for a job, you have to explain the misconduct thing?
I would. I absolutely would. We're honest people, and that's what I would explain. Well, what did you do? How did that come about? That's on my history now.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I don't. I'm absolutely baffled. You just can't make this stuff up. It doesn't make sense. What is misconduct? I didn't break any rules. I didn't have any complaints against me ever.
Well, you'd think that'd be injuring a patient, stealing, taking drugs or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah, doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
By your patient, by your staff members, doing the wrong thing,
Yeah.
like breaking the law, breaking the policies.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
all you exercised was consent, was the right to
Yes.
the right to consent or not to.
Just informed consent.
Informed consent,
Absolutely, absolutely. And our values of the some of the values of the health system, I remember well, people caring for people, and we embrace diversity, and patient safety and patient care is absolute priority. Absolute priority. Absolute.
So you believe these ideals.
Absolutely. Patient safety is number one. That's why we're there. We always have to be very careful of what we do with medications, always double checking the dose and the right person, the right time, all those things. Nursing.
What would be a resolution for you? For them to apologise and give you your job back, or what do you think is the way forward?
Oh, that's a good question. Really good question. I think definitely possibly, potentially an apology, but some recognition of what's happened. We need to talk about what's happened and what has happened and what has been very unjust and very wrong. Injustice needs to be called out. Otherwise, it's going to keep on going, no matter what it is. If it's in life, employment, if we're getting fired for misconduct, unjust, unfair dismissal, whatever it is. We need to keep talking. We must keep talking about these things that are happening, because it's not okay. And if we don't, it will continue to happen. And we must give people confidence and the courage to speak up, no matter who you are, what industry you're in. I think that would really help. I'm not sure about if we'll ever get an apology, but just a little bit of recognition of some errors that were made, because definitely there have been many errors that have happened, not just in my situation, but all of Australia, all the industries in the world. Truck drivers were also forced.
Yeah.
Police, coerced. We should never be coerced. We are allowed to have informed consent. We must give informed consent.
Yeah. Can I ask,
Yeah.
how many nurses left with you? Was there a load, or was it you just a handful?
In my hospital, to be honest, I don't know the exact amount. I think there was a small handful. It was such a difficult time in my life that I think I was just dealing with it very privately, so I wasn't actually too aware of too many others.
And have you been approached by any of the nurses you used to work with asking you how you are?
I haven't, no.
See, 'cause-
Actually, sorry, my mistake. I have once or twice. Sorry, I have. And that's been very beautiful when they have asked how I am. Many of them, I don't think, actually know my full situation, and just as all the other nurses that have either been fired or been forced to, or resigned, I don't think they were aware, because it has been such a difficult, challenging time that we may have chosen to just keep it private. It's been unbelievable. I was in shock the whole time. I never thought I would ever get fired, so I was just in shock. I'd never thought this would happen. So actually, I will say that a few nurses, friends that have heard, yes, they actually have been quite compassionate and just very short, brief, but that they have sent me, some good energy. Oh, wow, that wasn't fair. I can't believe that happened. I didn't realise. But unfortunately, it is unfortunate and disappointing that we all didn't stand up for each other at the time, because, that's
So the way you're
unfortunate.
talking, though, it sounds like the problem is the system, not the actual carers.
Absolutely. I believe so. We all believe in informed consent. I believe it's above. It's the system above us, the controls, the bureaucracy. I pleaded for a long time in my reply going through this disciplinary process. I begged for my job. I was actually on annual leave, not to go back, sorry, but I was actually on annual leave. My manager did the best she could, and I thank you very much if you hear this interview. You did the best. I think you did the best you could in this situation we were in. Sorry. I love my job. And you're a great manager. You're really good to me. Really good. Good people. So I thank you for that. Where was I going with that? Yes, through this process, I was able to go on annual leave just very quickly. I'm just remembering back to it, and that was great. That gave me some time because it wasn't the right time for me to have that vaccine with my situation. But who knows? Maybe in 3 months or 6 months, 12 months, with some more information, it may have been the right time. I was on annual leave. This is unbelievable. And they started the disciplinary process when I was on annual leave. I didn't know you could do that. Is that right? I didn't think you could do that. And then I begged for my position. I responded. I in emails as that I was supposed to do. I begged, could you please just hold my position? And I told them about all my experience. This was going to the executive board. I said, I work in 80% of the hospital. I can work in so many wards. Please keep my position. I never thought they would fire me. And my manager called me and told me over the phone when they fired me, and she was crying. So yeah, I think it's above. It's above, because if they had the power, I believe they would not have. If they have a heart, they would have said, "Oh, I understand, Sarah. I understand, nurse. No worries." I applied for an exemption. That didn't happen. So I do believe it's above. It's problems above. As we know, it's happening everywhere with doctors, nurses, physios, everywhere.
How are you going to heal? Because at some point, someone told me a thing the other day. If you hold on to bitterness, it's like holding on to a cactus. You know?
Yes.
The only one who suffers is you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you think you can move to healing?
Yeah. Well, this is a great part of healing. I am healing. This is just, I get very emotional about it. Because
you were wronged.
I was wronged. Yeah.
This is an injustice.
I know. Yeah, thank you.
And you don't deserve to be treated like this. You earned the right to be respected.
Yes.
And you were basically sacked for living up to the Hippocratic Oath.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the truth.
It's been such a hard few years, and people feel like you're still going on about that, but it's so wrong that yes, it's it's hard to heal from it. But each day, each year, it's getting easier. Life is great, and meeting you. Thank you for doing this interview. This is important that we share our stories. This is really important because I think so many people don't know. They don't really know what's happening and what has happened and what is continuing to happen. Unfortunately, it is still happening. I'm part of a group, and there's nurses with 20 years ICU experience. This is happening right now in Brisbane. Who have been fired. They've applied for a job in an ICU ward. They have managed to get an interview. They've got an interview, and the NUM of the unit, the nurse unit manager of the unit, has said, "Great, this is looking fantastic. You've got the job." They think they've got the job, but they can't get past HR, human resources, because of what's happened, because of that dot of misconduct. And they have not gotten the job.
So HR would rather the hospitals go short-staffed, meaning that Australians are suffering because there's not enough nurses, rather than backing down and letting you passionate nurses back to work.
Absolutely. And it's the community that is suffering. We need skilled workers in our hospitals, in every industry we're in, no matter what industry, building,
So the state doesn't want great workers, it just wants compliant workers.
It's seeming that way, isn't it? It's seeming that way. We have highly qualified nurses, paramedics, doctors here, ready to work for years. They cannot get their jobs back. We have a shortage of workers right now. This is not making sense. We must just keep talking about this, and I'm hoping there'll be some remedy soon, because this is not fair. Yeah, this is not fair.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Just thank you so much for all
No,
the
not for me.
interviews.
Anything
No.
else you'd like to say to Australia?
No.
Can I ask you one final
Sorry,
question
yeah.
then? Okay?
Yes.
Just think about this thing. Were you a good nurse?
I would say confidently, yes, I was a good nurse. Absolutely. As humble as I can be.
Wakes up in the morning, sun shining on his bed. Don't know where he's been or which way he been. The reaper of the story, champion of the truth, protector of the people, gypsy through and through. And he says, hey Florence, take me down the road. Another day drifting, yeah, another story told. The road is often lonely, there's a target on his high. We drive for miles and hours, but the truth is cannot lie. The guardian of the chronicles, attached firmly to his soul, against the Main Street narrative, truth and freedom are the goal. And he says, hey Florence, take me down the road. Another day sifting, yeah, through another soul. Forest it is falling, the truth is stumbling to sleep. It takes strong men and women to speak what he can see. The reaper of the story, the champion of the truth, protector of the people, the gypsy through and through. He says, hey Florence, take me down the road. Another day is drifting,